Tonight on News 13.
50 years ago today, our country was mourning the loss of our president. We'll speak with a Hazleton native whose photo captured those dark times.
Two Hazleton City Zoning Board members, each with more than a decade of experience, resign, citing favoritism. I'll have that story.
A new program about to launch that highlights people doing good things all across northeastern Pennsylvania. We'll introduce you to Community NEPA.
This is News 13 Now.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to News 13 Now. I'm Kathy Baczynski. Well, whether you remember what you were doing at that precise moment or have seen images on TV or online, it was an event which changed American life and American history. President John F. Kennedy was assassinated 50 years ago today. Christina Papa spoke with the Hazleton native who snapped an iconic photo of one of the saddest, most touching moments of that American tragedy.
It's the iconic image that touched the hearts of a grieving nation, a young boy saluting his father's casket. 50 years ago today, the country turned on its head, shocked and in dismay. President John F. Kennedy was assassinated as he rode in a motorcade through Dealey Plaza in downtown Dallas.
And while people here in Greater Hazleton had to wait for the newspapers or watch the television, one man was right there with the family during that historic moment.
That man was Hazleton-born Dan Farrell, who says he spent many of his summers in the area before settling down in Long Island, New York. 3 days after JFK's death, Farrell, a former photographer for the Daily News, waited with TV camera crews, radio persons, and still photographers outside the Capitol building. His assignment, grab a photo of anyone who walked out the doors.
The doors opened, one of the door opened, and out came Mrs. Kennedy with the two children. It was pathetically sad.
The family followed the procession down Pennsylvania Avenue.
My assignment editor gave me a camera that they had up in the office in New York. He said, take this camera and go down and see if you can get something different.
So Farrell ran nearly 2 miles to catch up with the crowd. He says that's when he grabbed the shot.
The casket came out, followed by the family. And then they were standing there for quite a while. And Mrs. Kennedy turned to little John and said, John, salute. He didn't respond at first, but then he did. And it was a one-shot picture taker.
That one shot captured this image, a historic moment in time, John Kennedy Jr. as he salutes his father's casket. And 50 years later, that picture is still used in headlines to remember the tragedy that changed the country. Now 83, Farrell says he's proud of his most famous photo.
A notable photograph that, people kind of always remembered it. I guess they always will.
Christina Papa, News 13, Greater Hazleton.
President Kennedy's assassination changed America and its future in so many ways. Today, 50 years later, people right here in Greater Hazleton reminisced about that Black Day and how it changed their lives and the community. At the Active Adult Center in Hazleton, people were still emotional a half-century later. They say news spread quickly across the country. People listening to their radios, watching on TV, and reading in the newspaper about the devastating event. People we spoke to today still remember where they were when they heard the news.
I was in high school, and I was at an assembly, and Mr. Antonelli, FX Antonelli, came out, and he told everybody what happened with President Kennedy's assassination, and everybody was like in shock. People were crying. Then they told us we could go home. They excused us for the day.
And when he said that, we all was working in the line, and we busted out crying.
We heard about it on the radio coming home from lunch. And we were very disappointed because we thought he was a very good president.
I remember one time he drove in front of our orphanage when he was newly elected or going to be newly elected. I was marveling at his shocking red hair.
I came from Germany, and when he was still alive, President Kennedy came to Germany, and people were there by the thousands. He was very popular.
And a woman, Mrs. Lawrence, called in. And she said, Ruth, put the radio on. They shot Kennedy.
I was in New York City, in Wall Street, filing papers, and they closed immediately. And I rode a bus home, and everybody on the bus was crying. That's what I remember. I was 20 years old. Now I'm 70.
And so today we remember John F. Kennedy for the youth, the vigor, and the hope he brought our country during his time in office. Well, Hazleton City Council met last night to go over next year's budget, and members weren't too happy about it. City Council shot down Mayor Joe Yanuzzi's proposed budget, as well as a proposed stormwater system maintenance fee. Yanuzzi didn't attend Council's meeting, but later told News 13 the vote on the stormwater ordinance puts the city in financial trouble. Hazleton has to close a $500,000 gap in its spending plan, largely due to significant increases in the pension for city employees. Council member-elect Dave Sosar says the budget is so confusing he doesn't know how Council can even vote on it.
It's very difficult to follow the track of some of the monies within this city. And that goes from the storm sewer fee that we're talking about, transmission fee that we're talking about right now, on down to other fees and taxes that are in the budgets. I'm not that I'm questioning every single dollar and cent, but I'd like to know through a narrative, why do these things exist? Who receives what, and why do they receive what?
And Council must approve a new spending plan by the new year. Also in the city of Hazleton, 2 members of the zoning board abruptly resigned from their posts. Even though they served for more than a decade, they say they quit because they believe the mayor plays favorites. But as Matthew Petrillo tells us, the mayor isn't all that upset to see them go.
It's a difficult decision to make.
Ray Bast is stepping down as vice chairman of Hazleton City's zone enforcement after working for the department for 13 years.
John and I have been on there the longest, and we sort of helped the younger appointees along.
He, along with zoning board chairman John Polensky, sent Mayor Joe Yanuzzi resignation letters today, saying they're frustrated with Hazleton City's procedures. In fact, Bast was so heated at Thursday night's council meeting, he charged Mayor Yanuzzi with nepotism. Yanuzzi denies the accusation.
They're followers of Jackie Monday, but I am pleased to take the resignation as they submitted.
Here's what went down. A pastor wanted to open up a church here at the old Printmark building on South Poplar Street. The zoning board denied the request, saying it's not allowed to be in an industrial zone. Soon after, Mayor Yanuzzi overturned their decision, citing a federal law that he says doesn't allow the city to deny churches zoning. Bass says Yanuzzi overstepped his powers.
The administration should have told him to follow the legal procedures to file with the Court of Common Pleas of Luzerne County.
And the court, an independent judge, would make the call on the zoning, not the mayor. He says the lack of oversight undermines the zoning board and also sets precedent for future applicants.
It's like making the zoning board a useless organization.
They did not research their decision before they made it. They did not research enough. They would have found out that there was federal law that says you can't.
To that end, Bass says he's not a lawyer, and in cases like this, he says that's what the court and procedures are for. Bass says he's contemplating returning to the zoning department. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Hazleton.
Still ahead on News 13 now, baby, it's going to get cold outside. How cold will it get? Coming up on News 13 weather. But first,
a new public affair program tries to shed the light on unity in our community. I'll have that story.
You're watching News 13 now, local and loving it.
Well, Greater Hazleton and all of northeastern Pennsylvania are facing many challenges, but sometimes we forget about their strengths. News 13 is proud to announce a new show on SSPTV that spotlights people helping people all across northeastern PA. As Christina Papa explains, Community NEPA is hoping to be much more than just a program.
Community. It's a commonness, a feeling of fellowship with other people living in the same place. Something Janine Mazurkavich sees here in Greater Hazleton.
Community came about because there are so many good people in this area that never get the attention they so well deserved.
Recently, Janine's taken on a new project. She's hosting SSPTV's new show, Community NEPA.
So what better name than community, because at a time when we are facing diversity and differences in a town that really needs to start working together.
With the help of her one-man production team, she's on a mission to shed light on the positive changes people are making by helping other people around the region.
We want to live in a town that's safe for our kids. We want to live in a town where we can make a decent living. We want to live in a town where there's culture. We want to live in a town that we could call community and unite together.
Janine and the show's producer, director, and co-creator Tim Novotny worked to put the finishing touches on one of the episodes this week.
You hope that what you have visually in your mind comes across for everyone viewing it, and you hope that what you attempt to achieve from it, it happens.
While the team is well aware of the damaging impact drugs and crime have left on Hazleton's reputation, they both agree things can only move forward if people get up and make that positive difference themselves.
I feel if more people give back to their community and actually make a difference, we could actually have a very good revitalization of Hazleton and the image of Hazleton.
Now community leaders are reacting and getting involved.
Community is everything. When a business is looking to move here, they're looking for not only the jobs that it provides, but what's in the community for their families. We're so supportive of this program and look forward to participating.
Community NEPA premieres Monday at 4:30 right here on SSPTV. Christina Papa, News 13, Greater Hazleton.
Time now for News 13 weather.
And in tonight's weather shot, we're local and loving it in Frackville at the intersection of Route 61 and Arch Street, where it was kind of gray day after the rain ended. Checking the National Weather Service radar, kind of showery day, but no real heavy downpours, but they're going to continue to move through the region and maybe change over to some snow showers as the temperatures drop into the overnight. Here's News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton for tonight. A chance of rain and snow showers through the overnight. Low down, chilly, 26 degrees. Then for Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 38. Chance of snow showers and cold at night. Bam, the bottom drops out, a low around 17 degrees. For Sunday, partly sunny. It will be blustery, high struggling to get to 22 degrees. Slight chance of flurries at night with a low around 15. Then for Monday, mostly sunny with a high of only 29, mostly cloudy at night, low only 25. And for Tuesday, chance of snow showers, cloudy with a high near 35 degrees. Chance of actual snow during the overnight with a low around 27. And heading to Schuylkill County for tonight, scattered showers, then it'll be mostly cloudy with a low hovering around 29 degrees. And for Saturday, mostly sunny, high near 40. It's going to be cloudy and it's going to be cold at night when the temperature plunges to 19. For Sunday, partly sunny but blustery, wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour, a high of only 26. It's going to be darn cold. Partly cloudy and frigid at night with a low around 15. And for Monday, mostly sunny with a high near 32, cloudy and cold at night with a low down to 22. For Tuesday, cloudy with a high near 38. That chance of rain and snow mixed during the overnight, though, with a low around 26 degrees. Well, you can bring joy to children around the world by helping a group of young people from the Freeland area who are packing gifts for those in need. St. Luke's Lutheran Church in Freeland is working to assemble special Christmas boxes that will be filled with toys and other gifts and distributed to suffering children all around the world. The group at St. Luke's is looking for toy donations to help fill the boxes that'll be shipped off early next week. Organizers say Operation Christmas Child, more than just a gift-giving ministry. The shoe boxes represent millions of opportunities to share the true meaning of Christmas, spreading the good news of Jesus Christ.
I mean, as a mission of the church, we're called to go out into the community and spread the gospel, and this is a good opportunity to do that. Each box at some point will be received by a child all over the world.
And you can contact the number at the bottom of your screen for more information or just drop off donated items to St. Luke's before this Monday, the 25th. Well, they'll be helping little children with a devastating birth defect in another area community this weekend. As Mike Madry tells us, it's all in honor of a little angel whose life was lost too soon.
Ariana Lugo was my daughter, and she had a birth defect called congenital diaphragmatic hernia, CDH.
Ariana Lugo was 2 months old when she lost her life to the battle with CDH this past February. To raise awareness about the disease, Ariana's mother, Ashley, and Aunt Angela Turst started the Save the Shrubs fundraiser to help raise money for a cure.
We did have a lot of people that came to the fundraiser. We try to raise a lot of awareness for CDH, infants and children with the condition. And we had a lot of tricky trays last year, which we got tricky trays, everything from handmade tutus to window seats at the Penguins games. And we're going to have a bake sale and also a 50-50.
Congenital diaphragmatic hernia, or better known as CDH, will affect 1 in every 2,500 babies in the U.S. Patients suffering from CDH develop a hole in their diaphragm, which is right under the lungs. Due to the hole, the abdomen is forced up into the chest. As of right now, the only treatment options for CDH happen to be through various overwhelming surgeries, and a cure for CDH has yet to be discovered.
50% of babies will survive this condition.
No one can feel the emotion of losing a child until it's a reality, and for Ashley Lugo, the support has helped her through this long road.
It means a ton. It has just people being here, the support and the help for these children that really need everything. Everything counts. Everything counts.
The Save the Shrubs fundraiser in Ariana's memory will be held tomorrow at St. John's Bosco Church in Cunningham, starting at 10 a.m. While there will be tricky trays, raffles, and a lot of fun, the purpose is serious: to save young lives. Mike Madry, News 13, Cunningham.
Let's check the winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you played. The Daily, 245. The Big Four, 7552. Quinto, 75062. And the Treasure Hunt, 2, 15, 25, 26, 30. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's social news. A very happy 60th birthday to Roseanne Sandrock. This wish comes from your loving mother. Now for tonight's Talk of the Town. The Christ Lutheran Church in Cunningham will be holding a vendor craft fair on Sunday, November 24th from noon to 5 p.m. There will be crafts, homemade food, and much more, and all proceeds will visit the CLC Youth Group. And the Save the Cherubs fundraiser in memory of Ariana Maria Gennaro Lugo will be held Saturday, November 23rd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the St. John Bosco's Church. There will be tricky trays, a bake sale, a 50-50, and much more. All proceeds will benefit Cherubs International. And finally, the Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce 18th Annual Business Persons Holiday Social. This will be Thursday, December 5th at Hazleton City Hall. It'll be from 5 to 7, and for more information, call 570-455-1509. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 extends our deepest sympathies to the family and friends of these recently departed. Amelia Yurcho of Nuremberg. Funeral will be Monday at 10 a.m. from the Harmon Funeral Home. Mass will be held Monday from 10:30 a.m. at the Sacred Heart Roman Catholic Church in Weston. Friends may call Sunday from 5 to 8 p.m. And Olga Polak of McAdoo. Funeral will be Monday at 10:30 a.m. at the Damiano Funeral Home. Mass will be held Monday at 11 a.m. from the Most Precious Blood Roman Catholic Church in Hazleton.
This is News 13 Sports.
We've been mentioning the winter sports season getting ready to start. Did a couple of previews and really looking forward to that time of year. But football still has a championship to be decided. And we now really get into the heart and soul of the PIAA state tournament. And we've got ourselves some interesting matchups. So let's take a look and show you what's going on tonight and into tomorrow. And you might want to catch some of these. There should be some interesting matchups. First of all, let's start with AAA football. We already got one game in. That's because it was down in the Philadelphia area, and they played last night, and it was no contest as Archbishop Wood destroyed Martin Luther King. So it's Archbishop Wood that moves on, and they'll now wait and see, will it be Academy Park or Glen Mills that comes out of that other bracket. That game will be played tonight at Ridley High School in the suburbs of Philadelphia. Now, we also got Clearfield and Jersey Shore squaring off. That'll be at Du Bois High School tonight. And the one that everybody around here will be keeping an eye on will be taking place at J. Bernie Crum Stadium down in Allentown. It's the Bethlehem Catholic Hawks going against the Berwick Bulldogs. So we'll wait and see. Remember, Berwick comes in undefeated. Now, Bethlehem Catholic has 4 losses on the year, but keep in mind, they play in the Lehigh Valley Conference, which is a rugged week-in, week-out schedule. Let's go up to the Quad A level where we had one final from yesterday, a very good game. St. Joe's Prep, in a defensive struggle, knocks off Frankford. They'll now wait and see what happens. Speaking of the Lehigh Valley Conference, Parkland and Easton will play again. That's something. 2 teams out of the same conference, and there they are in the quarterfinals. Meanwhile, Neshaminy will take on Abington and North Penn and Perkiomen Valley. Down to the AA level, you got Troy and Danville, Berks Catholic, and Littlestown. Now, charter school, Imhotep, 48 winners over West Catholic last night, so they advance. And waiting in the wings is District 2 Lake Lehman or District 11 Catasauqua. Rough Riders and Knights will play tonight. Finally, Single A. Here we go. District 11 in Schuylkill League. Schuylkill Haven takes on Bristol at Blue Mountain High School, and Southern Columbia and Old Forge, two very good programs. Southern Columbia looking to make yet another title run with Jim Roth. Steelton High Spire, the Rollers take on York Catholic, and Homer Center and Bishop Guilfoyle tonight. Out in Altoona, well, we told you last night that probably New Orleans would win, but I had a hunch that could be an interesting game, and it turned out to be every bit that. Saints do win. Atlanta gave them a run, and as we said, it was a very good game for the Thursday night kickoff. Now, as far as Sunday, here's what the regional teams are going to be doing. You got the Steelers in Cleveland in the old backyard rivalry. The Jets have a tough task going into Baltimore, and even though the records aren't impressive, probably the most interesting game on the docket. You got the Cowboys, the New York Football Giants, 4:30 on Sunday. If you're looking for the Eagles, maybe check down Atlantic City. They're off, nice and relaxed for the weekend. College football, the Nittany Lions in Nebraska will tangle tomorrow. That's a 3:30 start. In the NBA, Sixers hosting the Milwaukee Bucks tonight. And in the NHL, the Islanders skate out in Pittsburgh. If you're looking for the local Pens, a lot of action right at home this weekend. Tonight, St. John's drops in, 7:05 start. If you missed that one, they'll do it again. Same two teams on Saturday, 7:05 start. So you got high school football, you got local hockey, you got NFL and college football. Getting ready for that Thanksgiving week coming up. Enjoy it.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to News 13. Now, I'm Kathy Bazinski. Taxes just keep going up in Schuylkill County. County government has already told property owners their taxes will increase. And as Matthew Petrillo tells us, residents in two other communities might see tax hikes as well.
Homeowners in Tamaqua will see an increase in their taxes.
Just an increase in our expenses, just to try to keep pace with inflation. Increase in oil, cost of materials and supplies.
On top of the increase assessed from the county, Borough Council members are increasing taxes for the first time in about 5 years. Residents may sometimes forget all the services they use from the borough, but at least one taxpayer says she's not happy about it.
I just don't think that it's really worth the property taxes being raised. I mean, we can afford what we can afford right now with the economy. I'm really thinking no. Thumbs down.
Tamaqua isn't the only borough in Schuylkill County that could see a tax increase. Council members in Pottsville are voting for a possible increase there as well. Pottsville Mayor John Riley says the city's budget for 2013 has a gap of more than $100,000. Next year, that gap will increase to almost $290,000. So he says a small increase in taxes is necessary.
We'll go no more than a mill, or it could be something less than a mill, but it's hard to explain until we get these final figures from Berkheimer.
Still, Pottsville's budget will be saving some money. Earlier this year, a patrolman retired, and after December, its police chief will also retire.
But we're going to have to hire another police officer to fill up that gap.
Council is having public workshops on its budget, inviting the community to come out and tweak it. The next one is November 27th in City Hall. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Pottsville.
Welcome to this week's Adopt Me. We're here with a puppy named Shakurta. Chris, we got to talk about the personality of this dog. Very energetic, but not all up in your face.
That's right. What's cool about her, she's very affectionate. She loves to be by your side. She'll lie down at your feet. She'll basically sit on your feet and lean against you, but she does not jump up or put her paws on you. She's very affectionate, very active in seeking your attention, but she's not a jumpy, kissy kind of dog, which is a relief to a lot of people, especially those that may have smaller children and want to avoid such behaviors.
Now, she just got some procedures done. First, talk about the procedures, and even though she got the procedures done, she's still in a great spirit.
This is true. She was just spayed recently, tested for both heartworm and Lyme, and of course negative. She's also fully vaccinated against rabies, distemper, and kennel cough as well. But despite having been altered within the past 2 days, she still has a great energy level.
Awesome. Who do you think would make the perfect home for Shakurta?
Somebody definitely with enough time and energy to take her for walks and a decent-sized yard, because she is a larger dog. She's maybe Boston Terrier and Bulldog mix. So somebody with enough land and enough time to own and walk a medium-sized dog. But she seems to get along really well with other animals, people. She doesn't seem to be a problem with any particular species.
Awesome. Well, that's Jakarta, and now we're going to head back into the cat colony. We're here in the cat colony. We got a new cat named Mikey. Tell us a bit about Mikey and how old he is.
Mikey here is a very sweet domestic short hair, gray tabby. He has some white on him as well. He's already neutered and current on all of his vaccinations and, of course, tested negative for feline leukemia and FIV. He's basically brand new to the colony. He's only been in here a few days, but everybody's very accepting of him, luckily, and he gets along really well with the other cats.
Awesome. What characteristics have you noticed here with Mikey?
Well, he's very affectionate, very people-oriented, and he also gets along pretty well with the other cats. You can see him and the others grooming each other. They took to him pretty quickly, which means he's not a very dominating personality. He's pretty submissive with the others, so he might do well in a home that already has cats.
Okay, well, that's Mikey, and if you want any more information on these animals or if you want to adopt them, come by the animal shelter here at 101 North Poplar Street. For this week's Adopt Me, I'm Mike Madry.
And that's News 13 now for your Friday. Don't forget, you can catch this newscast again with rebroadcast throughout tonight. For the entire News 13 team, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Basinski. Stay warm and have a great weekend.
Watch online anytime at SSPTV.com and follow us on Facebook. This is News 13 Now, local and loving it.